How is Maru's shoulder? It's still injured. He still has issues with it. From my understanding, that's why Maru canceled his trip to Star Zagora. He was going to Star Zagora, but specifically long travel and travel in general just doesn't really it doesn't really bode him well. It's not something that he can necessarily sustain because of his shoulder injury. So because of that, that's the reasoning why Maru canceled his invitation to Star Zagora. But he is going to Dallas, is going to DreamHack Dallas. Just not going to be traveling as consistently and as consecutively. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the Italian Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, not Protoss, is playing Terran against Zerg. Representing Team Vitality, it is Maru. Let us go. So we are jumping into our TvZ now. As a reminder, I was alluding to this previously, so I'll reiterate again. We did cast Maru last week against Rogue in the previous round of GSL, and Maru, he 8-racks the hell out of Rogue. It was sorry, not Rogue, my apologies. I'm thinking of, wait, was it? No. Yeah, it was. Sorry, it was. Yeah, Maru, he did 8-racks the hell out of Rogue. Rogue, he was not able to really embrace a longer game state against Maru. And Maru, he was able to end those games real fast and real quick, which is why I mentioned that I was left wanting. I was left a little bit unsatisfied. I wanted to see some more out of Maru outside of just purely all-ins, and we'll see if we can get that here between his series against Reynor. Now, what I will say is that Reynor is also a very aggressive player. He's very aggressive, very active. He's more active and aggressive than Cyril, I would say, which is what leads to a lot of fun games and fun series. This is also why I actually favor Reynor over Reynor against Clem more than Cyril. Not saying that I favor him, but more so than Cyril, just because of his play style. It's always so much fun, and we've seen Reynor defeat Clem time and time again because of these more chaotic game states. Base trades, Lingbane Muta as well, bringing that back and being just hyper aggressive, hyper in the face of Clem is just a very different dynamic, very different. Meanwhile, usually Maru, he's kind of like Cyril. He's a little bit more Cyril-esque, even though I did say he has been going for all-ins recently, that is true, but historically, Maru has been more of a turtle player, where he's more defensive, more turtly. He's one to build up and throw down planetaries and look to max out and have a slower kind of game state. That's traditionally how Maru has played out ZVT. Now, what I will say, coming into the new map pool, this style that I'm referring to, this more turtle-heavy style, this more defensive style as we do go 3cc before Starport, is weaker this season. The reason for this, the map pool. The maps, honestly, they play a big part in certain matchups when it comes to how they play out, 100%, especially in the last map pool as well, because so many maps are so defensive. I'm referring to Abyssal Reef, I'm referring to Neon Violet Square, King's Cove. Like, there were so many like defensive and turtly maps. Here, less so. Incorporeal, for example, is a map that's large, that is true, but also a map that has a lot of attack paths. There are a lot of attack paths here into the third, into the fourth, in between the bases more importantly. I would say that this map is maybe a little bit more Terran friendly for one reason, and that is this Zelnaga Tower, or I should say the terrain. Usually this area is more open, but specifically this area here is quite difficult for Zerg players to engage into because Terran have so much terrain that kind of blocks off their opponent to deny any kind of surround. It's difficult to engage a Terran player specifically kind of in this area, in this region. In the center of the map, it's not as open. So we'll see. We'll see how Maru does approach this. Behind this, 3cc into Cloak Banshee, standard play out of Maru, economic play. Meanwhile, Reynor, just droning, just saturating. In general, though, I actually haven't casted much ZVT in this map pool just because ZVT is quite rare. I'm sure you know this, but when it comes to tournaments in StarCraft right now, it's very Protoss heavy. It's very Protoss heavy. And because of that, we often see a lot of PvP, PvZ, and PvT. Like, the Protoss matchups are very common and much more televised as a result. TvZ is more of a rarity, 100%. So always happy whenever we see it, always. But because I just have less experience covering some of these maps in this matchup specifically. Same with ZVZ as well. As the Overlord's being hunted down. Maru claiming his third. Interesting, taking the triangular third base. Expanding towards the expansions of Reynor. So already being more assertive. Hellions poking in. Right now, the goal for Maru is to deny as much creep as he can. As he pokes in, but so far is being denied. Banshee to the main. Gets 2 drones. Takes down 2, takes down 3. Oh, just barely 2. So a nice start here for Maru, but ideally he does want more. But now pulls away with the Banshee. Second Banshee has arrived. And Reynor, he is keeping up with the Hellions. He's spreading creep. He's doing quite well for himself. The creep is looking solid. Not just connecting the bases, but also has a presence out on the map. And Maru having a hard time dealing with this. Takes down 1 tumor. And we spoke about this actually at the beginning of the game. We spoke about how we do love how Reynor, he's one that's more active, more aggressive against Clem, and how we often even see Lingbane Muta. There it is, Lingbane Muta. Let's go. The Spire is on the way. This is a rare sight. Players like Solar, players like several players like Dark before he'd retired, they never play Muta. Like, this is a rare sight in the current meta. This used to be, of course, very standard back in Heart of the Swarm and even early Legacy, but has fallen by the wayside. Muta play, the reason for this is it's very micro-intensive and very difficult just because it's so fragile. It's such a glass cannon kind of army, and on top of that, you're also vulnerable. Mutas are not built to defend, especially early on. They're designed to harass, designed to get across the map. If Maru were to be more assertive, then Reynor could just topple over and die. Bearing in mind that Reynor, he's delaying his upgrades in favor of Mutas. So he currently has 0-0, and he is going to be falling behind in the melee upgrades, or the ground upgrades, as a result. 7 Mutas are on the way. Behind this, do you see what I see? 5 racks is done. We're 8 racksing. We spoke about this, but we are getting up to 8 racks, but that's a 4th CC. Maru, he's expanding. Okay, I was gonna say that we saw nothing but 8 racks out of Maru against Rogue, but here he is expanding, and he's taking a gas as well. Maru is still being very bio heavy. That is true. It's still quite intense. But so far, he's being relatively passive. He's denying creep, but here come the Mutas. No punish. Reynor, he goes by unscouted. Maru here never went for a dive. He's just focusing on creep denial. And Mutas are making their way into the main. And as we get into the main base, a big shout to Sian in the chat. Obrigado. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. Hope you had a great time over on your own channel. Obrigado, papi, obrigado. Fala, galera. As Mutas, they bust into the main. 7 SCV kills. I say 7, getting up to 9, getting up to 10, and even more. And again, the Mutas, they completely unscouted. Maru, the pants are down. Papi, the pants are down. 13 SCVs. And what's difficult as well is that Maru, how often does he practice against Muta play? Again, DVT is a rare thing to begin with. And on top of that, I was mentioning the Korean Zerg players earlier, but Rogue, Solar, Shin, they don't play Muta. That doesn't happen. Like, at this level of play, Reynor, he's the only one that really does this on a consistent basis. The drop is cleaned up. Maru, he breaks out, expanding towards his opponent once again, taking the 4th base. Oh. It's Reynor, he gets spotted. Gets spotted by the Banshee. They spot each other. Maru behind this, still making 10 Marines at a time. Again, because he does have an A-Rack setup, he is making pure Marine tank. He's not being as aggressive as you usually would be with this army because of the Mutas. Like, he has to be more defensive with this. Ideally, though, Maru does want to switch out of tank into Widowmine. Like, Bio Mine is going to be superior here just because of the Muta count. More so than tank. Hive is on the way. This can lead into Ultra Tech. or just spellcasters. Mutas, they coming from behind. They get a tank. Not bad. Nice control here from Reynor. Picks up a tank. Builds up his Link Bane. Rocks are knocked down. So there are a lot of rocks. Maru just ensuring that he doesn't get surrounded. Just forcing a frontal assault instead. Reynor can't quite push in. Oh. Quite able to push forward. Ling Ramba is attempted. Maru's in position. Oh, Bailey's running into a tank. Not ideal. Likewise, Maru, he does deter those mutas. Not bad. Instead, Reynor committing here to the run by. Takes down some reinforcing Marines. Going for the tanks as well. Does break through. Takes down the tanks. Takes down the bio. At the same time, Maru pushing onto creep, but there's plenty of Link Bane. Maru has to pull away, but he clears up a lot of creep. The creep is receding. Hive is now done. Where's the tech? Where are the upgrades? From here, Vipers would be ideal. Maybe some Infestors. Adrenals on the way. Especially because there are no Widow Mines. It's purely Marine tank. Vipers, they'd be beautiful. Now the run-bys continue. The creep is still receding. Being pushed further back. Ooh, Lings, they get denied. Maru, he's ready for this. He does turn back around. And Reynor, he tries to slip into the Mineral Alliance. He breaks through the front door. And busting into the natural. Takes down a tank. Mutas, they come in as well once again. Focusing down those medevacs. Catching reinforcements. Maru, he's a little bit indecisive here. Does he push? Does he not? Does he come back home? Once again, SCVs are going down. Nice run by with the Mutas. They find damage. Oh. Hitting the third base as well. Ooh. More Mutas going to be going down. 14 SCV kills though. 14 SCVs. Likewise, Reynor's keeping it with the drops. He's barely saving the expansion. Barely. And Maru's pushing. Now, on the one hand, that was really nice economic damage. That's true. But Maru has a massive army. And this time he's got some Widow Mines. Doors are on the way as well. Maru breaking out. And Maru, he can still take this game. He's at least going for the base. Knocking down 2 expansions. Maru rotating over. Does rotate. Reynor catching out a tank. Does get a tank rotating back into the main. At the same time, Maru, he just ignores the mutas. He wants another expansion. And can he close off and knock down to bottom left? Oh, it looks like he can. Reynor, he just cannot engage. This expansion, it's going to go down. Reynor going for the mineral line. The repairs are too good. Oh my god, the repairs are crazy. The base goes down. The mutas, they do not get the expansion. They do not get the mineral line, but Lings, they do slip in regardless. Lings, they're making up for the lack of damage from the mutas. Mutas, they eventually give up on the turrets. Eventually. As Reynor is trying to break in. Oh, borrowed mines are denied. Reynor, he is still getting a lot of damage though. That's going to be 23 SCV kills. He borrows Link to the natural. But Maru still has a massive army. What does he have? He's got 14 medevacs. That's a lot of medevacs. 51 Marines. He's got 1 Thor. He's got 5 Widow Mines. Again, Maru, he's maxed out. And Maru is pushing. Now Reynor, he's triple expanding, trying to get some bases up and running. Oh, ultras have arrived. Nice mind connection. Mind shots are popping up. Another mind shot here in the ultras. But there are still a couple of rollers mixed in. No ghosts, but still good enough. Yeah, the 3-3 bio army shuts down the first ultra. Now breaking out, no ghosts. Without ghosts, the longer this goes on, the better it may be here for Reynor. As he's still losing bases though. Losing expansion after expansion. As another base goes down. Oh my god. Do you see my connection? Maru still maintains the high ground. We got more CCs on the way. And Reynor, he just can't expand. He does have a bank. True. So 4,000 minerals in the bank. Alright, because ultras are trying to collapse in. Maru, he kites back. Oh! Another mine shot goes up. You know, ultras, they go for the run by, they go for the planetary, and it looks like the planetary should go down. Not bad. Reynor, he takes down an entire mineral line. The ultra run by gets 17 SEVs. Both players are hurting, but Reynor, he does retake bottom left. He's back up to 5 bases. He's still double expanding. He's got the money for it. So we're running out of bases. Running out of expansions. So another run by does move in. Once again distracting Maru. Catching out SCVs. And Reynor, can he break the high ground? The melee's up! He does roll in. And he subs for the base. The planetary is gonna fall. Not bad. Takes down the planetary, catching out the bio. And remember, Reynor, he can afford this. He can afford these trades. Planetary's not yet done. More CCs forced to lift. Now, Maru's still in this game, but he's all in. Like, Maru, like, the army that he has, that's all he has. And he has so many medevacs. Wait, what? He's up to 16. 16 medevacs. Ay. But Maru still has a massive army to work with. He can still end the game in one push, but that's the only way he can end the game. Is with that one breakout moment. He rotates around. Oh. He'll be hiding back. Takes down the expansion. Another Ling Ultra run by. Planetary is done. The Greater getting in position. Bailings. Oh my god. He do crash into the mineral line. Barely sniping that planetary. Towards the center base. And again, Reynor, he's denying the mining, he's denying the expansions. But is this good enough? Oh. As there is still no ghosts, by the way, against this many ultras. Who needs ghosts back? Someone link Maru the ghost copy pasta. He's playing TvZ on hard mode. No. I don't need ghosts. I just need man with gun. True. As he's down to 35 SCVs. Again, barely an economy. But he doesn't need an economy. He's not losing army. True. Oh, that's a kill. Hold on, cancel. Oh, no kiting. Yeah, Maru inattentive. Does lose a massive chunk of his army. Tank goes down as well. Maru slipping up. He loses a lot of supply. Yeah, speaking of, once again, does take some swipes to the face. Late reactions out of Maru. Yeah, Lings, they take down more bases, more expansions going down. Reynor, he's done it. Whew. There was definitely opportunities here for Maru, and I was concerned, but too many mistakes too quickly here. Losing 2 bases. Losing massive parts of his main army. And Reynor just chilling, just remaxing. And who needs anti-air? Who needs to kill these medevacs? Just say we could have had like 1 or 2 Vipers throwing down some power bombs every now and then. I guess it's fine. We got some corruptors. And here we go. Reynor collapsing in. Ooh. Mine just going up on the ultras. As there's 1 liberator left here on the high ground. Sorry, 2 liberators. They're going to be focused down. Ultras, they just run past. Oh, massive fungal! Let's go! The flanking fungal comes in! And Reynor, he finally finds that fight. He shuts down the main army, breaks through. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, very successful Ling Bane play there out of Reynor to be able to pull Maru apart. Again, it went unscattered, very similar to game 1 against Classic actually, where Reynor, he went mutas, he got unscattered, and Reynor, he was able to pop off. He just crippled the economy of Maru then and there. He dealt so much damage. Maru, he was able to somewhat stabilize and max out, that is true, but he never built up a bank. He never had the opportunity to, because he was losing base after base, mineral line after mineral line, losing so much of that economy, and GG. In the end, he just starved out. He starved out. He just could not maintain himself, could not maintain those losses, and with that, Reynor takes a lead. Let's go. And again, as I mentioned before, I should emphasize that once again, the fact that not many players at this level do play muta. So Reynor, he was quite successful just catching Maru with his pants down. Maru, he was not ready whatsoever for the initial mutas, and Reynor did well. He did well for himself. Did it very well for himself. GG. With that, we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into ley lines. And here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Vitality down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Zerg player. Oh. The Red Zerg, representing Basilisk. Leading the series 1-0, it is Reynor. Sorry, just setting up the title. Setting up the title on YouTube. We're good to go. Oh my god, me will pool first? Okay, Reynor mixing it up here does open up pool first instead. No shot, we're going gasless. Pool hatch, we'll see when the gases are taken. This is risky here. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but if we are going to be playing gasless, I'm referring to pool hatch. This is typically reserved for safer maps. Okay, there we go. So it's going to be late gas, but not gasless. Okay, so pool hatch into gas here from Reynor. It does mean that Link speed is going to be delayed, but it'll be on the horizon. 6 Lings are in production. The goal here is to disrupt the build of Maru. Maru going for the low ground setup though. Very safe. Maru, he's going to be ready for this. This is a special build, by the way. Racks into factory. Now, the benefit of this build and of this style from Maru is that he has a wall real fast and real quick. And it means that these Lings that are designed to delay the expansion, I'm not so sure they'll be able to. We'll see. As the SV's in position. Yep, there we go. The factory's on the way. So we have a full wall. We have a full wall here at the natural. I spoke too soon. The wall lifts. Yeah, the Overlord does bait out the Marines, baits out the racks. Overlord is going to go down, but the wall is open. The Lings, they come in for the surrounded. Oh no! Ooh, they almost catch him. Nice movement there from Maru. He still will lose the Marines as they take a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Boys are being pulled. Oh my god, the Marines are getting away. No shot. They barely get away. Very nice control there by Maru, and with that Maru, he holds, he defends, and now this opener from Reynor is not as worth it. Now, because gases are so late, we're skipping Ling speed and we're going straight into Roach production. Now, I do like this follow-up out of Reynor. There are a couple different things about what's happening here. One, because of the low ground setup, as you can see, pull first, Lings, they do nothing. They do nothing. They do not delay the expansion. But the downside of this style is the production. The production is on the low ground. The production is exposed. Usually the production is in the main, and a Roach push can deny mining at the natural, and it can force the player on one base a little bit longer, but then they just defend, and then they break out from their one base eventually and re-expand. Here, if the natural gets broken, the production also gets broken as well. Like, there's just so much value here at the natural that this early Roach push can end the game. It can straight up end the game. Where them lurkers to kill the army. The build for Reynor was Lingbane Muta. Because that he was heavily invested into melee upgrades, that's why the natural transition out of Lingbane Muta is to go into ultras to actually take advantage and to benefit from the melee upgrades as well. That's why when you open up Lingbane Muta, you don't often switch into lurkers, just because you have no range upgrades, right? So no upgrades for the lunkers. From here, do you see Reynor pushing forward? He does get a couple of SCV kills. The bunker, sorry, the depot is under fire, and the depot will go down. But again, he needs to get on top of that factory, on top of that tech lab. Cyclone does arrive. Maru, he's holding on. He's holding, does force back Reynor. Does force him back. Reynor, he's threatening, but behind this is not all in. He's droning. He's droning up, so it looks like Reynor, he won't be able to break the natural. He won't be able to disrupt the production. He's trying to, but Maru holds. So a stronger defense here by Maru, and this is now a rough position for Reynor. Remember, Reynor, he delayed his third. This third is so late. Delayed third, delayed droning, delayed economy in favor of these roaches, and it wasn't worth it. Oh. As the roach goes down, catching out two roaches. From here, Ravager gets targeted. Nice control here from Maru. Oh my, just punishing every single Ravager. Ay, ay, ay. Ravagers go down, roaches as well. Reynor losing everything. A really rough start for Reynor. He's trying to drone up, trying to saturate. He's being greedy. He has to be. He gets punished for it. A drone gets picked up. And Reynor is hurting. Reynor, he's hurting. This build, this opener from Reynor was not worth it. Late Ling speed. Late drones, late third, late everything. As another drone goes down. And Maru behind this is chilling. Behind this is getting to stim and getting to his 1-1-1. So his 2-1-1 setup. CC is on the way. Maru, he's settling in. What else? Korean? 안녕 하세요, papi. 감사합니다. They're like 5 phrases in Korean. That's all I got. Now the Banshee has arrived, and the spores are a little bit late, so 4 more drones go down. Nice damage here from Maru. Very nice. So Maru does pull away. Does pull away. Would you see Reynor trying to catch up, going to double upgrades into 1-1, a lair follow-up here into eventually Lingbane. But Reynor has some catching up to do. And Maru's expanding. Maru from here just expands. Able to saturate. Able to build up. Now, because of the lead that Maru has, I wouldn't even be opposed to A-Raxing from here. Like, we saw an A-Rax setup last game, but no committed, like, 3 base A-Rax all in. here it would be quite fitting. We'll keep an eye on him. For now he's on 5. On 5 Raxes. We are waiting to see if Maru takes the gases at the 3rd, and waiting to see if whether or not he does throw down an extra factory, a 4 CC. So Maru stims in. And he does sim in, he trades well, force to pick up. Flush transfuse at a Reynor, he does at least maintain those queens. As manages to hit the natural once again. Getting another 2 workers. Oh, nice punish. Reynor catching out a Banshee. Does take down one of the Banshees, and yep, there it is. 3 Vaxes. We have 3 Vaxes on the way here, so we do have an 8 Vax set up at Maru. This is going to be pure marine tank. Now, there is 1 gas on the way. Now, this gas geyser may just be to mix in a couple of Marauders, but typically we wouldn't take the gas. So the gas is a sign of potentially further tech out of Maru. Otherwise, he's still committing. No 4th CC, not yet. So it looks like a 3-base all-in out of Maru. As he mentioned, because Maru has a lead, this is a really good way to capitalize on that lead, but there it is, 4th CC. Never mind, he expands. This is the same setup, and again, the gas was indicative of it. This is the same setup that Maru had in game 1. Same build, same setup. Araxes with an extra gas into a 4th command center. So this is less aggressive out of Maru. As Maru does sim forward. Takes down the gas. Collapsing on the queens. They're running out of transfuse. Ooh. So the queen goes down. One bailey does connect towards the end. I believe there's still some brutal trades. Some brutal tank shots. Double drop into the natural. And Maru here unloads. So far though, Reynor he's keeping up. He's holding on. Oh god, I spoke too soon. 6 more drones going to be going down, and you can see the disparity here in the supplies. I mean, this is an instance where the supply isn't quite lying. Reynor has just had a really rough start to the game. The initial pull first and Roach follow-up was not worth it. It was just not worth it, and Reynor's been behind from that opener. Cleans up the tanks, though. Cleans up the tanks. Oh, the target firing on Maru does focus out every single Baneling. Banelings have a hard time trading. GG gets called. Maru here overwhelms, and Maru ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG will play. Just a really rough start from Reynor. It was almost a hard counter from Maru, blindly so. If you remember, Reynor, he went for a pull first opener, and Maru went for the low ground racks, and that meant that the first set of Lings didn't do anything. Likewise, the follow-up Roach push I thought was going to be an all-in, which I favored from Reynor, but he droned up instead. He droned up behind it. He did not commit to an all-in. So the Roaches, they poked out, they killed the depot, but that's all they got. There was a Cyclone to respond, and Maru, he cleaned up every single Roach, every single Ravager. It was not worth it for Reynor. Remember, Reynor, he delayed his 3rd base, and he delayed his economy for that early Roach push, and it wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it. GG will play it from there. He was behind, he tried to recover, and he was not quite able to. And with that, Maru fights back, and now we're going to the ace match. Let's go. We're going to game 3. Game 3 is going to be on Tokamak. Now, is Maru going to do something other than 8 racks? Because he's done that every game so far. He is, I should say, to be fair, he has gone 8 racks into an extra gas, into a 4th CC, but it has been the same build every game. 2 games in a row. Does he go for the 3, the hat trick? Let's find out. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Zerg player from the land of Italy, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. We go. As this time Reynor does not go pull first. Thank God. This time we have a much more standard opener out of Reynor. I spoke too. God damn it! I spoke too soon. Gas first. It's gonna be gas first. So gas pull into a delayed hatchery. Reynor, he's doubling down. Now with this build, it could be one of two things: either rush into link speed for an early link flood, or rush into early roaches for an earlier roach push. One or the other. But this gas is gonna be spent in some way. We'll see how it's gonna be spent. Meanwhile, Maru, high ground setup this time. So the high ground racks into a low ground CC. This time his natural is going to be more vulnerable. This time the natural is more exposed. More so than last game. So once again, a different build out of Reynor. He has done something different every game so far in the series. And Reynor, he has the 100 gas. Waiting for the minerals. There it is. Link speed is on the way. And he doesn't pull out. Uh-oh. He stays in gas. So this is either a Bane bust or a Roach rush. What's it going to be? I'm leaning towards Banes at this point. We'll see what we go for as links are moving out. Reynor, he has 50 gas. Show us the nest. Fading out those lings. I mean, technically, this could even be for a fast lair, I suppose. For like drop a lord play, which would be crazy. So we could see Baneliness, Roach Warren, or fast lair. We got 3 options. Show us what you got. Ooh, as the Reaper does poke in. Does see gas mining. Behind this third CC for Starport, very greedy build here, very economic from Maru. And it's going to be for the fast lair. Okay. So no Banelings, no Roaches. We're going for what looks to be a Link Queen Nidus all in, I would imagine. Reaper Scout is denied. You can see Maru is checking, no third base. There is no expansion. Reaper does get away. And drop a lords. Okay, so it's going to be a German taxi, or really what I should say, not a German taxi, it's going to be the Italian Vespa, papi. Let's go, as we do have drop a lords amassing. Going to be Ling Queen drop a lord all in from Reynor. Let's go. As he's looking to move out. Meanwhile, remember, Maru did open up a 3cc 2-on-1. Reaper gets surrounded. Now, what does this mean? This means there are going to be less Hellions and more Marines and a stim timing, but I believe stim is going to hit too late. I believe Reynor can hit before stim. There's the add-on swap. Now, Maru does make 4 safety Hellions. Aha. The Vespers, they're gearing up. Things are moving out. Here comes the drop. And here comes the all-in. And remember, Maru, he sees nothing. Now, he does know that there's no expansion, so he should be aware that something is wrong. Something is amiss, but no bunkers. Like, Maru, he's not respecting it. Now he sees. Now he knows. Yeah, he sees the drop lords. He's now aware of what's going on. Instantly, bunkers are being thrown down, but these are late. There we go. 1, 2 bunkers on the low ground. They're on the way. Drop lords into the main. So, Ling drop into the main base. Likewise, Ling Queen here towards the natural. Lair is done, so there's going to be, I mean, there would be a setup there in case there was Banshees. Does fully wall off, not bad. Nice Sim City. Do have the full wall. Drop's actually heading towards the natural. Yeah, dropping over the wall instead. Collapsing in the army. Bunker does finish. 1 bunker at least. And so does the other. Bunkers are complete, so we get a transfuse. Clutch transfuse. Keeping the queens alive. Lings they surround the Hellions. And the bunker will fall. The repairs are not in time. Reynor, he's done it. The wall is open. Hero as Lings they butts into the main. Boys are going down, and GG gets called. Maru is out of GSL, and Reynor, he advances on to the decider match. GG. At least we got 1 macro game out of them. We got Game one was solid. Game 1 was solid. Game 2 and Game 3 more chaotic, more intense early on because of their aggression, and a cheeky build here by Reynor coming in prepared with an all-in, coming in with the Italian Vespa. Again, as you mentioned, Maru, he knew that something was wrong. He saw that there was no expansion, but I would say that his Hellion Scout was late. He had a late Hellion Scout because if you remember, he was waiting for the follow-up Hellions. He had 2 Hellions. He was waiting for the 3rd and 4th Hellion instead of moving out. Because he was waiting, that gave time for Reynor to gear up and to get ready. And by the time the quadruple Hellion move out occurred, then Maru saw what was happening. But by then, it was too late. By then, it was just a little bit too late there. Reynor, he was able to strike and able to end the game then and there. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Reynor does make it through into that final series, into that decider match. It's going to be a best of 3 between Reynor and Gumiho. From the side of Maru, Maru, he was going for the same style, it seems to be, every game in that series. Again, we just have so much limited information about Maru and what his current form is looking like. But it does seem like Maru is still I should say, getting back into the swing of things. What I was trying to emphasize earlier was that Maru has been very inactive this year. He hasn't been playing a lot of StarCraft. He did take a really long break, again partially because he was probably waiting to see if he was going to conduct his military service. But now that that's over, now Maru's back. But Maru, he still has a ways to go, especially if he wants a good performance at Dallas, right? DreamHack Dallas is in a couple of days, so we'll see. And he's going to be traveling. Everyone is going to Dallas. Reynor's going to be there. Maru's going to be there. Gumiho's going to be there. Even Classic, everyone's going to be at Dallas. So best of luck to all those getting involved.